Okay, here we are. We're going to change the outer CV joint and convert it into one where we can mount the freewheeling hub locking mechanism. We're only jacking up one side of the vehicle each time, so it saves us having to drain the oil out of the axle. So we've jacked up this side of the vehicle, and my colleague now is going to remove the wheel. Okay, once the wheel is removed, we move the outer cap that holds the hub on, covers the hub. Just a thin chisel in there in 2 or 3 places, we can extract it. We then remove the circlip from the end of the CV joint. For that you need a strong pair of circlip pliers. It's quite a strong clip. We're then going to remove the brake caliper. Okay, once we remove the caliper, we tie it back somewhere secure so we don't put any strain on the pipe. Okay, we're now going to remove the ring of nuts, hold the outer flange on. They just need a tap with a drift just to release the washer on the back. And as you see, this we do before we take the nuts. If you don't do it this way, you won't be able to remove the washers. And here you can see the washers we take off. So then the outer hub comes off and we carefully remove the gasket. We're now locking the lock tabs back on the outer nut. The front hub has 2 nuts. One is an adjusting nut, the second one is a tightening nut, and as you see we're using the special tool to release the nut. Once the outer nut is removed, we can take the lock plate off. And you see the lock plate has various places that we can put one down and one up to lock the outer nut. We now remove the inner nut, which is the adjusting nut. And at that point we can remove the hub and the disc together. Okay. That now exposes the back plate and the ring of bolts. That gives us access to the drive shaft. Then we can remove the outer plate and the back plate. As the vehicle is fitted with ABS, we remove the sensor for each wheel from the back. Just take the small bolt off, the sensor pulls out and put it carefully out of the way. We then need to remove the outer flange. It's not tight on there, it should just pull off. And there we have the outer flange with the grease for the CV joint. Okay. We can then extract the shaft with the complete CV joint fitted. And to remove the joint from the shaft, we would support the shaft and then we would hit the CV joint here, and that would release it from the clip. So the parts we're going to be changing, as the outer, we're going to be fitting the freewheel locking hub device and also the outer constant velocity joint. The drive shaft will stay the same. All we'll have done was taken this off the other shaft and we've tapped it on with the new circlip, if required, onto the shaft. We're now going to put the shaft back into the axle. Okay, we now put the drive flange on in the correct position. So we've now located the outer flange. Making sure the holes are in line. So we're now going to put the back plate and the seal for the back of the disc all back on. He's now going to put the ABS sensor back in. Hub goes back on with the disc, making sure that the washer slides into the slot on the outer flange. Okay. Okay, then the inner nut. We're now fitting the inner nut. And with this one, this is the one where we adjust the bearing.
Get it?
Okay, so we tighten it up with the socket to make sure the disc is fully on. The disc and the hub are fully on. Spin it a few times. Tighten it, and then we set the torque as per the recommended torque setting in the workshop manual, 64 Newton meters. Okay, and we spin the hub to make sure it's free and there's no free play. We now fit the lock tab back on, and then the outer nut. Once the outer nut is tight, we can then bring the lock tab back over so that the hub is secure. Make sure we've got the gasket on. We now fit in the four-wheel drive device. Pulling the drive shaft through with the pliers, and we reinsert the circlip. Once the circlip is back on, we can now fit the 6 tapered collars which centralise the hub. Then the spring washers. Then the 6 nuts. At all times we should be referring to the workshop manual to ensure we get the correct torque settings for all these nuts. And the outer part of the freewheeling hub goes on. Remember, there's a gasket there as well, and that will only go one or two ways. Once that's on, we have 6 6mm screws, and we have to make sure we don't over tighten them. Okay, the last job would be to fit the caliper and then refit the wheel and just check that the hub device locks. Yeah. If we engage the hub, we can see it's turning the front prop shaft, so we know that the engagement is working. So apart from that, what we do now is put the caliper back on, the wheel back on. We would let the car down, raise the other side, do exactly the same the other side.